Hey everybody, here for Black and Crew Chicago. So let's get into it. This episode is basically about the aftermath of the convention and how the fellas felt about Kat, and they feel like she still doesn't have loyalty towards them after doing the convention alone and not representing Nine Mag, whatever. Um, so they're like legit having a discussion about Kat and how they feel about. Say hi. Lord. So they're legit having a discussion. All right, Nyla. They're legit having a discussion about Kat and how she's disloyal and all this other craziness and how they made her and everything. So while this conversation is going on, Danielle is letting them know y'all didn't make her. She wanted to do the convention with y'all. Y'all didn't want to do it, so get over it. And they was like, well, she could have at least represented Nine Mag. And Ryan was like, well, Nine Mag was represented. Nine Mag sign was on the floor. So I'm like, here we go. So while they're discussing that, Kat and Charmaine are discussing it too. And Kat was like, she just feels like they not supportive. They she went out there since she didn't represent Nine Mag or whatever. She went out there to represent herself because they didn't want to do it. So Kat was like, at the end of the day, I'm just working on branding myself. I'm just trying to make it better for me. They didn't make me. I'm representing Nine Mag, but I have to look out for me too. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with what Kat is doing. It's not like she's completely saying F9 Mag. She's just saying, first of all, if you really wanted to be represented at that convention, you would have paid the 900 like you were supposed to when you were supposed to. That is nobody's fault but yours, Ryan. You want to be, you know, a prick about it, and now the opportunity came and went, and you want to take that anger out on Kat. So, Ford gets a call from his half brother, and his half brother tells him that his father is sick and he lives in Mississippi. So Ford is like, well, I don't even know how to feel about that. I want to cry. I want to call him dad. There's so many emotions going through me, but he hasn't been in my life. So Don is like, well, whatever you decide to do, if you want to go or not, I'm here for you. Whatever decision you make, I'm here for you. And I mean, I can completely understand that with the whole, daddy issues type thing. I mean, I'm not even going to go into it, but I understand how Four feels, you know, towards his dad. So, what else happened? So Charmaine says that when they were in New York, after the whole argument and everything in the club or whatever, Don asked her to come, I guess, in the hotel room or something. So she was sitting on the bed, and then he tried to, I think he had like his pants down or something like that, tried to straddle her and then pinned her up on the bed and kissed her and everything. And she said she basically swerved him or whatever. I don't really know what to believe, but she said that after that he was blowing up her phone and whatnot. So, I mean, I don't really know what to believe because Charmaine is still entertaining Don. Like, if you really don't want him calling you names and calling you a liar and making you out to be delusional, you would leave him alone. So, um, what else happened? So we found out that on the next scene that like Danielle, she has an on again, off again boo that she's been with since high school, and she doesn't know how far the relationship is gonna go with him and her. But she told Charmaine that she kissed Ryan, and it wasn't nothing serious. They were just drunk watching a movie or whatever. I don't know why that was really news or anything, but yeah. So then we get to the scene with Danielle and her boo, and she's cooking him dinner and whatnot, and then they're having a discussion about their relationship, and he's like, she's like, when do you think you'll be able to commit? When do you think that we'll be exclusive? And he's like, well, this is a conversation that I wouldn't want to have now. I would want to have it like 4 years from now or something like that. And she's like, if he thinks he's crazy if he thinks I'm gonna wait 4 more years for him when I've been off and on with him for 8. And if you're not ready to commit, just let me go and stop leading me on. And I'm like, yeah, you sitting up here questioning him about your future. He clearly does not want a future with you. He just wants to have his cake and eat it too. So you need to move on, Danielle. You're not ugly. Move on. So Four goes. He basically, well, he went and he met up with Ashley and DJ at the park, and Ashley explained to him that she's not talking to Don because Don, Nyla, she's not talking to Don or dealing with Don because Don messed up and he has a track record of cheating and she's just tired of not being treated like a priority and the number one lady in his life. So he's like, well, I'm going through all the issues I'm going through with my dad. He's, sick and whatnot. I just want to make sure the same thing that happened with me and my dad doesn't happen with DJ and Don. And she's like, well, he has to show me. He can't just, tell me how he feels. Like he has to, he has to prove it. So I'm like, yeah, Ashley, stand your ground, make your demands. So for initially he, opts to go to Mississippi to visit his dad, and he just basically got off his chest. He was like, "Why didn't you call me? You had my number. You could have called me. We could have talked. That would have helped build our relationship. So like now I don't know anything about you. I don't know your favorite color. I don't know anything. You should have just called me." So him saying that to his dad, it was like a weight lifted off of his chest. So he felt better, and him and Don were like, talking about it, and then they left. Now, Danielle went back to Kat and told Kat that if it seems like I'm rambling and just going through the episodes, because it's not really a lot that happened. It's just like basically the same thing. Nyla, it's just basically like the same thing that happened. So Danielle tells Kat what the guys were saying in the shop about how they made her and all of that, and Kat is like, well, they did not make me. I was already a good tattoo artist and they saw my potential, and that's why they, Nyla, and that's why they put me on to Non-Mag, because I was a good tattoo artist. So Kat was like, well, when I see them, I'm going to punch all of them in the face, and they better not come at me with that fake stuff. So she finally, towards the end of the episode, comes to the shop, and she confronts all the guys, and she's like, Van goes to hug her, and she's like, no, don't do that fake ish. And he's like, what fake ish? She's like, because all of y'all seem to have a problem with me, so I want to address the problem now and get it out the way. So she was like, I was told that you guys feel like you made me and you have a problem with me not representing y'all at the convention and blah, blah, blah. So Danielle was like, well, how you received the information is all wrong. That's not what we said. And I'm like, all of y'all are backpedaling because y'all clearly said that in the first scene about how y'all made her, how she wouldn't she basically be like downplaying her success, like she wouldn't be nothing without Non-Mag. So Danielle was like, well, do I need to tell it? Because I told her. And they were like, see, how you told her, it sounds messy. I'm like, y'all sitting up here pillow talking about a female, period, is messy. No matter how you put it, you pillow talking about her and it's messy. So Van got upset and stormed off, and Forrest just sitting there. And he's like, well, the way Kat is talking to Ryan and Van is just disrespectful. Like, I like Kat. I think she's a sweet girl, but my loyalty is to Non-Mag. All right, but just because you defending Kat does not mean you're being disloyal. It should not be three, four dudes against a woman, and you just sitting there. And this is a woman you trying to pursue. You sitting there like a punk. You not even defending her. You not calming them down. You just letting them call her any type of name. So Kat was like, I'm really disgusted with Ford. It shows me what type of dude he is because he's not even defending me. So her and Ryan get into it. And Kat was like, see, that shows how much of a bitch you are. You'll come at a female like this, but you won't come at Van or Ford like that. And he was like, I'll talk to them any kind of way I want to. So when they went to the couch, she was like, well, that shows how much of a bitch you are. You're a bitch, bitch, bitch. Like, she just kept calling him a bitch. And he got mad. He was like, I don't like the B word. If I was to call her that, then we would be in an uproar. I'm like, okay, I understand you don't want to be called that. But that's how you've been acting. Like, you've been nitpicking at everything Kat, Charmaine, anybody does. And it's because you have your own issues, Ryan, that you need to get help with. So I was on Kat's side 100% until she called him a bitch. Because I'm like, okay, if he doesn't like to be called that, then she doesn't need to be calling him that. So that's the only thing I disagree with. But that was basically the episode. And like I said, I I agree with Kat. I don't see anything wrong with what Kat is doing. She's just trying to brand herself. It doesn't mean she wants to leave Non-Mag. It doesn't mean she wants to abandon them. It doesn't mean that she doesn't, give them credit for her success. It just means that she wants to brand herself. Just like you branded yourself and you got Non-Mag and that's your business and your sister helped you with it. That's what she wants to do. Nobody wants to be an employee forever. If anything, you should be bigging her up. Y'all could come together and do something together. Like, Stop thinking like that. Like, it's like, honestly, crabs in the barrel mentality. You getting jealous of her because of her and her success or whatever. You act like she's basically saying, oh, well, F nah mag. I could do without y'all. I could do better without y'all. She's not saying that at all. She just wants to brand herself. So, Ryan, I know you don't like being called the B word, but you were acting like the B word. You've been acting like it for a while in a lot of these episodes, and I've tried to sympathize with you, but you doing too much. The screaming and the hollering and the yelling at the wrong person, you doing too much, and you need to chill. You need to go see a therapist. But that was basically the episode. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll see you guys next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Good night. Later.